This is our last weekly check-in for the month of May, our magic month. Um, y'all, we've spent another couple thousand on the house. Yay! Very exciting times. We are coming up on the last few contractors and the last few big projects for the first month. So y'all, it's a lot, but we're getting it going, and I think we're gonna be okay. By the way, hi, I'm Bo. Wynn is currently cooking dinner for his kids, and we are trying to find financial stability for all of us together, one paycheck at a time, working on what's amounting to it's going to be about $640,000 worth of debt because we just bought a house and we had to add on a bunch of debt to get the house up to par so that we can live. Very exciting times. Let's get into the transactions. So on the 23rd of May, Wynn paid 2 copays. So he had the normal copay for the kids for their therapy. All 3 of his boys are in therapy. They have been since the divorce proceedings started with his ex. And then also one of the boys had allergy testing. So there was an additional copay of $12. And then I brought in my April 23rd savings account interest for $69. And then I really just put this, I put this amount here just because I didn't want to write for each transaction what the moving fund was paying for. So I just added it all together. So moving fund, $2,555 is what I brought into the budget this week. Part of that was paying for checks, and we had to have the checks overnighted because we needed checks. We need voided checks with our current address on it. Y'all, the government is wild. So I had to overnight a set of checks so that we could have voided checks with our current address on them. And then I got the automatic cash back for Capital One. Capital One has this setting where you can, every time you get to $25 of cash back, it'll automatically credit it to your account. And I did that so that I got that coming in. And then Wynn spent $95 on getting the kids some new clothes. Their pajamas they're outgrowing them. And it's wild to see how fast these kids are growing, because when I say their pajama pants are halfway up their calves, it's crazy. So we got them new pajamas. That was $95. And then we paid the first payment for our appliances. So we got not all new appliances, but we did get some new appliances. Most of it was put on a Home Depot credit card. And then there was $300 left over. So the total amount is somewhere around $5,000. We got a new fridge for our upstairs tenants, and then we got a washer and dryer for ourselves, and we got a fridge and stove for ourselves. And we still need to replace the pilot light and the stove in the basement because the pilot light of the stove in the basement went out, but they didn't need a new stove or fridge, so that was good. But yeah, so that stuff had to be done. And we ran into more problems with the dryer once it got set up. We realized it wasn't venting properly. So if you watched yesterday's video, you'll see it was a mess, and there's going to be more money spent on that. I'm trying to fix that. So y'all, wish us luck. And then I stuffed $130 in the envelopes. And that's groceries in bulk. And then I paid the alarm system deposit of $60 because we did get a security system installed. And there's a deposit of $60, and then it's going to be about $101 a month. So yay for the next 5 years. And then the amount's going to go down because then the equipment will be done. I'll be done paying for the equipment because it's 0% for 5 years, which is great. But also that's more debt. Not my favorite, but, we live on the south side of Chicago and it's not the safest area. If we wanted to live in a safer area, we would have had to pay like just as much for half the house that we got. So, you give and take, right? And then on the 26th, Wynn went to Family Dollar for $7. Don't know what he got, but it was probably snacks. And then I got bedding from the moving fund, bedding for $80. One of our pillows like exploded in the move, like is not great. And then like two sheets got ripped. I don't know how this stuff happens, y'all. There were actually a few things that got damaged in the move. It wasn't as much as I was kind of expecting, but some things did get damaged. Like we have a fireproof safe that we keep like the most important documents in, and the handle broke off in the move, like the handle to the safe. So like the locking mechanism still works, but like we can't open it. Even though we can unlock it, we can't open the safe door, which, kind of defeats the purpose. So that's going to have to get replaced, but whatever. So the bedding got damaged. So that was $80 to replace that. And then we went to Home Depot for $220. And then paid the deposit on the plumber for $1,524. So they wanted half down, and then we pay the other half when they come to repair the plumbing in our second floor unit. So that's, great. Yay. And then on the 27th, vending machine went to the vending machine for $4, and then another $243 at Home Depot. This was, I believe, we got mailboxes because our building, it's a three unit building. No mailboxes, just a mail slot for the 3 units. Just a mail slot like in the door. So we got mailboxes for each of the units, and we're gonna install those ourselves because it's not that hard. But yeah, the not having mailboxes is kind of ridiculous. Like just having like the mail like littered on the floor inside the entryway, and then we have to sort it ourselves. I'm not a fan. So that was that. Also, we got some tools because there's some other things that we need to fix. We're trying to fix as much as we can, like, ourselves, but like there's some things where it's like, I mean, technically we could have waited on mailboxes. We don't have to have mailboxes. It's not a necessity, but I don't want to sort through 3 different units of mail every day. I don't want to do that. And paying a little bit for mailboxes now can reduce a lot of headaches later. So that's kind of the deal with that. Also got over-the-door towel bars because our bathroom humidity is so bad, and we're going to have to get a dehumidifier for the bathroom too. But like if you take a 10-minute shower, there's just water streaming down the walls because there's no fan in there. There's no like air circulation. So it's just, everything just gets like drenched. Everything's just wet. So we're probably going to get a dehumidifier for the bathroom. That'll be another like $150 to get a decent sized one, that can like pump out the water from the air like quickly, as quick as like the shower runs. So that's gonna be like another $160. Y'all, buying a house is expensive. But then electric bill came out for $108 on the 28th. And then I updated my registration. So in Illinois, at least, I don't know if you knew this, but you're supposed to update your driver's license and your car registration immediately after you move. In Illinois, at least where we live, you can do that online. So I don't get a new license in the mail just from updating my address with the Secretary of State. But at least if they run my license, they'll get my current address when they run it, even though the license says my old address. If they run it, like if I get pulled over or something, a ticket will go to my current address instead of the address that's on the license, which, is a good thing. Also updated my registration online, and that was $4. So that my car registration, I did get a new car registration in the mail, just with the updated address. So it's not renewing my registration. It's just updating it with the new address. So that was $4. And then my car wash membership came out for $18, and we got snacky snacks for $14. I don't actually remember what those snacky snacks were, but I do know that they were delicious because they always are, and they're so worth it. But yeah, that was a lot, y'all. That was a lot. We're already 12 minutes in. That's crazy. And these transactions, like, I'm pretty sure this is the most transactions we've had in a month in probably a year or something. It's wild. But let's just look at our envelopes. Let's see how we did there. So we're at the end of the month. Very exciting times. So for week 6, because this was a magic month, so 3 paychecks. For groceries, we started with $48, added $100, spent $123. If you noticed, we kind of did the opposite last week. So last week we got a bunch of bulk things, and this week we got a bunch of like regular groceries. We were kind of in limbo with groceries because of the move, and because we needed a new fridge, and we knew the fridge would have to be emptied and sit empty while we're waiting on the new one to get installed and everything, which took hours. So yeah. So as soon as we got the new fridge, we went for a big grocery haul. So there's $25 left in groceries, and it looks like we spent a total of $464 on groceries this month. And then for bulk buys, we started with $38, added $30, didn't spend any, so there's $68 left. And we spent a total of $294 on bulk buys this month. So that's actually, I don't know, this seems pretty reasonable. And then for transportation, we started with $133, didn't add any or spend any, so there's $133 left. And that is a total of $231 on transportation this month, which makes me think that we might need to adjust what we budget. And at the end of the June monthly budget, after the budget month, shall I say, I'm going to do a comparison where I do like the total spent in the first 6 months and then the average. And we're going to see like how these categories kind of worked out, and hopefully use that to plan for next year. And then for health, for all these, we didn't spend anything in the rest of these. We actually behaved ourselves. But health has $195. So there's $804 total was spent on health this month. And this was an anomaly because there was a pretty hefty medical bill that Wynn had to pay. So this is kind of an anomaly. This is not an every month thing, y'all, by far. It's not normally this much. And then home shopping, there's nothing. So we spent a total of 107, which is more than we budget normally. Not a fan. But technically, we only went $5 over budget because there was already money saved. So not too bad. Birthdays has $29. We didn't spend any this month. Clothing, $132. We spent $155 on clothes this month, which is way more than what we budget for because we budget $25 a pay period, but we already had money saved, so we didn't go over budget. So this is good. For shoes, there's $279. So we spent $54 this month, and that was just for new orthopedic insoles for Wynn. So that's not bad at all. And then pet care, there's $143. We didn't spend any this month. It's coming up. It's almost time to make a new batch of food for our cat. We make all his food from scratch, which is expensive and time consuming, but it saves us a lot of money compared to store-bought food. And then personal, there's 146 there. I spent a total of 277 this month on personal, which is I really just went over budget because we had a little like housewarming kind of / welcome to the team kind of joint party at the house right before we moved in. So to me, it was worth it. And then Alphaba didn't spend any, so there's 196. And the boys, this is me matching Wynn's son's savings account deposits, and they have not been depositing anything in their savings accounts. So this money is just staying with me. Wicked stepmom strikes again. One of these days, they're going to start depositing in their savings accounts again. I really want them to, like, my goal here is to get them used to saving and put them in a situation where when they want to be independent, they can be. That's the goal anyway. So let's see what all this means for the budget. Starting with his inflow, it was $1,586 as budgeted. His paycheck was $1,586 as budgeted. My paycheck was $1,579 as budgeted, and then other income was $94. I did get that credit card cash back for $25. And then from savings, I took a total of $8,120, and I budgeted $20,752, but that was just like a ballpark. I had no idea like what the timing was on the contractors, and I didn't know exactly how much things were going to be. So it was just a wild guess, which is going to be like every month is going to be every paycheck is going to be some kind of wild guess for like what's coming from savings, because contractors, we get multiple quotes, and then like scheduling happens, and we get like it's a struggle. And then rollover, we didn't budget any, but we got $2,439, so that's nice. But we try not to budget rollover because we don't want to count on that. We want to always spend less than what we have coming in. Of course, I'm taking a lot from savings right now because of the new house, but for the most part, we want to just count on the money that is coming from our paychecks. And then we're not investing right now. That's not where we are. I didn't say the total. There's $13,818 for inflow. And then we get down to his spending. This is Wynn's checking account. Kid bills came out to $92 because we had the 2 normal copays plus the $12 for allergy testing. And S&M collection was the budgeted $50. Heating bill budgeted $266. Student loans, we paid what was budgeted, $31. Electric bill, we paid what was budgeted, 108. Adventures was as budgeted, 20. And then miscellaneous, $204. $204, y'all. When is all like, well, I really wanted the thing. Yo. Like I went over budget in my personal. Wait, did I go? Was that? Oh, that was last pay period. Yeah, I went over budget in my personal funds last pay period, but he benefited from that too, because he ate that food, he drank those drinks. It was fun for everyone involved. But this is not great. He's been like regularly going way over in his spending money, and we're really gonna have to address that because Win wants to start therapy and his insurance doesn't cover it. So he needs to cut that out. But he's rolling over $2,052. And that is a subtotal of $2,823. And that leaves us with $10,995. And he's not saving right now, so that is why that line is to that. Then we get to my spending. I should probably say, I try to say it every time. Win is a substitute teacher, so he's not guaranteed full-time income during the summer. So we are on survival mode like every summer. Which does not mean that we are strict on our budget. It just means we're not saving. And so let's go to my spending. So this is my checking account. We do not share bank accounts. My monthly bill's $18 just for the car wash membership. Dining out was $190. And I just talked about when going over budget and his spending money. Please keep in mind, this dining out, this is not just me dining out. This is me paying for dining out. So this is both of us, not just me. And a big part of why this was so far over what it normally is because of the move. Because our fridge situation, we couldn't find our microwave for a couple days. It was a struggle. Groceries in bulk was the $260 that was budgeted. Most of this is actually as budgeted, so that's good. Transportation, $60 as budgeted. Health, $500 as budgeted. Home shopping, $35, $5 more than budgeted, but that's okay. Birthdays, $5 as budgeted. Clothing and shoes, $50 as budgeted. Pet care, $15 as budgeted. And personal alphabet, $100 as budgeted. And that brings our rollover to $1,642 because that's what was left. Subtotal of $2,875. So that leaves us with $8,120. And I'm not saving right now because I'm in solidarity. We are on the same page as far as survival mode for the summer is concerned. Now we get down to savings spent. So moving was $6,451. I budgeted $20,000, but that's literally just because I was spitballing. I did not know how much we were gonna have to spend. We had ballparks, but not firm invoices. So from the contractor, so it was just a guess. Car insurance $752 as budgeted. Home insurance $822, which was not budgeted, but this was because our insurance required an inspection after closing. So that inspection actually valued the rebuild of our home at a higher cost. So we had to pay the difference in the insurance rate. So that was $822, and then kids' clothes was $95. So that is a subtotal of $8,120, which is what was left. So this is a zero-based budget, which of course does not mean our bank accounts are at zero. It just means that every dollar has a job. Our bank accounts do not ever go to zero. We are both terrified of overdraft fees. It's a tax on being poor, essentially, at least in my mind. And I'm not trying to pay taxes on that. What was it? Like no taxation without representation. Like don't tax me. Don't tax me for being broke. I figured out. So yeah, that's it for the budget. We are bleeding money still. We're still going to be spending thousands out of savings. My savings account is not looking good. Y'all are going to see next week when we do the net worth video. Y'all, our savings went down, down, down. Well, my savings really, because Win savings is beautiful still. My savings account, demolished. I've been spending so much money. So yay, net worth video is gonna be atrocious. Oh, and there's more debt. So yeah, there's that. If you have any thoughts, y'all, I'm so tired. I've only had like 5 hours, four and a half. Yeah, 4.5 hours of sleep. And I'm tired, and I'm tired of looking at these numbers. When I tell you the wish to like put my head in the sand over these numbers, like whenever I look at my savings account in particular, I get so sad and so like full of anxiety. I don't want to record these videos. I don't. Like I look at the numbers and I kind of want to hide. Like it feels like we are spending out of control and there's no end in sight. And these contractors are just like, I don't want to say like vultures, like pecking at the carcass of my bank account, but it kind of feels like it. But yeah, this is kind of extreme transparency on our part, but I feel like it'll help somebody. Like somebody's trying to buy a house. Somebody is trying to budget with their partner without actually sharing bank accounts. And hopefully this helps you. Or at least maybe gives you an idea that you didn't think about. I have been looking for different budgeters who budget with their partner but don't share bank accounts. And I've been curious about that, and it's almost impossible to find. If you know of a budgeter who budgets with their partner but does not share bank accounts, like let a sister know. Like let me know. I want to see how they do it, because this was my idea of how to do it after we had tried like a few different budget spreadsheets, and this was the best that we could figure out. But if you know of somebody else who doesn't share bank accounts but budgets together, like budgets on the same sheet, like let me know. How do they do it? Like how do they set it up? Because this is what we came up with, but obviously this is not like the correct answer. Like there's a bunch of ways to do it, but this was what made the most sense to us. If you have a better idea, or if you know of a budgeter that has better ideas, sharing's caring. Let us know. I appreciate you so much. And never forget that you deserve financial stability. And I hope you have a great day on purpose. Bye.